you see this craziness? Do you see all this craziness? I'm going to talk to you about all things SparkNotes. SparkNotes creates no fear Shakespeare, creates no fear literature that is in plain English, but in comparison. They also make SparkTeach, which has literature guides written to you, but the SparkNotes can also be used for you to flesh out novel studies, but it goes beyond that. Remember Cliff Notes? Well, friends, this goes a little bit further than Cliff Notes. Maybe even preferred by you. I don't know. We can talk all about it and you can see and let me know your thoughts. But with SparkNotes, it doesn't limit it just to literature. It does not limit it to just English. You have study guides for multiple subjects. Hello, I have one of them here. So whether it's science, whether it's history, whether it's just literature, there is so much, and a lot of it is available for free. I'm going to talk about today about what is SparkNotes, what is available under a free account, what is the difference if you get their Plus account by paying $25 for a year at the time of this video, what is that you can buy printed but still available for free, what is that you can only buy printed, and also show you inside examples of the printed study guides, the No Fear Shakespeare printed lit, and the classic ones. And this is not just classic, friends, because they have added so many different literatures. They include modern lit. All right, they have over 700, over 1,000 altogether. This is an effort to show you another tool and see if it will help you with in a homeschool setting. My personal takes, my personal walkthrough through this. We will start with the online platform and then move into all of this. Yeah, all of it, like just all of it.
Maybe there's a version of me left that doesn't feel afraid of what comes next.
Point out a couple of differences to you. I'm going to be going through several areas of this site. I'll try to keep this as condensed as possible, but I also like to be comprehensive with you. Please note that I do have the Plus version, which means that I paid for the upgraded version that has additional features. I will point out to you what the differences are when we visit specific areas. Like for example, here you see AP Test Prep Plus. That is not an option that is available in the free portion. So when you go and you even just browse the website without even making an account, you can see a lot of the content that is available there for free. Now under the literature, so remember that I said that SparkNotes and SparkTeach is more than just for literature. They have other subjects as well and other study guides for other subjects. We'll visit that in just a bit. After I show you the website and all the different features, please hang around, and I always include timestamps in the description box below, so please hang around because I'm also going to show you the physical product, right? I'm going to show you the things that you can purchase that is going to look the same as a study guide but in a physical book that you can hold. There's also something that is not available online unless you actually purchase it, and that's the SparkTeach literature guide. Quick walkthrough of those guides so you can take a look at that option that you can purchase on Barnes & Nobles, and some of them are listed in my Amazon store that are available, so that will be under the high school years. Again, SparkNotes and SparkNote Plus and SparkTeach are geared for students in high school and college. That does not mean that if you find a book or guide that is something that you feel that you can go through very easily with your 7th, 8th grader or something, that you can't use it. I'm just telling you that this is actually geared for students that are in high school or above. All right, so I'm going to walk you through the little tutorial that I first had when I paid. Now I paid, and I'm not sure at the time that you see this, I don't know if the prices are going to change. So that's why I always don't like to mention prices, but I'll just tell you really quick. At the time of this video, I paid $24.99, I think it was, for the entire year to gain access to the Plus. The Plus also has some audiobooks that are basically like, you know, it sounds like you're listening listening to theater, but an audio of I believe like 20 of the Shakespeare's play. All right, so one of the things in the features that you can see is you have the no fear translations. Now these are things in the plus, okay, because I'm going to show you the differences, but I'm going to show you the added stuff first, because that's where I just landed. All right, so you have the no fear translation. So the no fear, if you're not familiar with it, the modern you have the original text and then the modern text right beside it. Okay, so that will help your student be able to like reassure them, or like, you know, after they're trying to figure out what Shakespeare is saying exactly, and then look at it beside it in plain English, so you can see both side by side. So you have modern day translations, Shakespearean play and sonnets. I buy the physical book because like my kiddos do not read on the screen. I always will print something that is like that. It has audio recordings of Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, and more. And these sound like, you know, studio recording type of thing. So not just like somebody reading. It really sounds like very animated. I'm excited to see what else they add into that. Helpful cultural and historical references. Plays, Shakespeare plays were meant to be seen, not read. Obviously, we do all these, you know, we do all these analysis now and break down what the bard was trying to say and what he was trying to convey and all the meanings and things like that, which is very fruitful to go ahead and do, and it's a challenge. But one of the things that I, you know, want to make sure that I do, and I will recommend, is let them watch the play. I'm not saying don't get the book or anything like that, but let them watch the play, because they were meant to be seen and not read. Okay, you may have a different opinion. That's okay. We're allowed to be different. There is a note-taking tool. So if your child is someone that wants to go ahead and type, now this may be a feature that I'm not sure if she will just stay if she uses this much. We're pulling this more in the homeschool setting as a tool for me to build lessons around it. Not so much for her to use it directly as much. But if we use this feature, she would be able to type her lessons, which she does type any written like essay, research paper, or anything like that. Being dyslexic, it really does help her with, you know, spelling, and her not being frozen by like, you know, making these type of mistakes and then feeling like she can't continue to write. So typing has been a really game changer for us. So that the fact that it has these note-taking abilities right on there, and it will keep your progress and everything you've done and bookmark things and all that jazz. You can go ahead and have that there. So if you have like more of a digital home, this is a great thing. All right, so you can take notes from your phone, your desktop, all that jazz. You have the dashboard. Now, if your student's taking some AP courses, and I know some of you are or are linked up to do that, there's some test prep that are directly connected with this different literature and passages and stuff like that, and it gives them quizzes and things to just like refresh their brain. I will show you what that looks like in a little bit. There's flashcards, and the flashcards are not every literature guide has this. Not every study guide has this. There's only some that have the plus feature, and you will be able to see which one. They'll have a little green mark on it for the plus. Then you have some mastery quizzes that you can take, you know, that you can take per book. Breaks down these things chapter by chapter by chapter. It is not meant to replace the reading, of course. It is meant to be a help, a tool to help you break things down. And you're not supposed to take what they say with their analysis and stuff and write them down. That's plagiarism, right? So, but it gives like a jumping off point. And especially if you're not the one reading it's not a read aloud for you, but you are not the one reading it. You are homeschooling 6 kids. You don't have time to pre-read everything and know what's going on. You will be able to see chapter by chapter in their study guide. Don't worry, I'm going to show you all that. All right, so here you have the graphic novels. We have all the ones that have come out. They're great. So you have the graphic novel options here that has the helpful line-by-line translations in the original text, and you have that as well. Then you have infographics. These are pretty cool. I'll visit this again when we go into literature guide. And then you have My Plus activities. You can review your scores, easily access your notes and save pages, your study progress and all that jazz. Now, this is more of like your student is using this as a tool for them directly. I use it more as a tool for me to create a lesson, and then this also provides help in case, like, you know, with one of the harder literatures that she gets stuck. All right, so here you can see the options. There's over 700 titles and growing. They're still writing. There is full texts that are free for you to read. You know, a lot of the classics they have available for free for you to read, and that's even in the free version. You have the No Fear translation Shakespeare play to follow along with the audio and other classic work. Now you could do by month. I did by year because you get a great discount by doing by year, and it's like 25 bucks. That note taking and bookmarking, that is in the pay version. Flashcard is in the pay version. Mastery quizzes is in the pay version. Infographic and graphic novels are in the pay version, and the AP test prep and ad-free is also paid version. So what you get with for free is you get access to all the study guides for free, which is amazing and still has tons and tons of material for you to use, and you can get some full text that you can read. That's more than enough. You know, I wanted the ability to have access to like the flashcards and all that jazz, so I went ahead and paid for it. But honestly, if you don't need all that, you can get away with the free version. This is what I did. So when you arrive at SparkNotes, you're going to have some top titles. Most of these are always going to be like the classics. This is the ones that they have like the most stuff with, like they create more with. They also have a little box here to show you the new study guides, because again, they're continuing to write. Now, who writes for SparkNotes? You want to know the author, right? We want to know, are they reliable? So these are professors in the field and grad students that write these pieces for SparkNotes. SparkNote has been around since 1999, where Cliff Notes, I think, was started in the 50s. That is more like very traditional talk. They have more deeper analysis in them, but this has much more of a modern take. If you visit their Instagram, you can see it's very fun. They share like, you know, jokes and stuff like that that are literature related. So it really tries to reach the student where they're at and make this relatable and something that they can grasp and enjoy. So here you all have a tab with free full text. This is not everything. This is just to get you like some highlights so you can see what's going on. And then there is stuff that is in their blog that is additional studies. Like here, for example, William Shakespeare's Life and Times. So this is says a comprehensive guide to detailed biography, social and historical context. And you're going to see the historical context in a lot of the study guides as well. And then here you can see additional things that really could be helpful in their blog. So don't miss out on those parts as well, which is free to access. I think they have tons of quizzes, just like as brain breaks. You'll see that in the study guide, like take a break. Here's a, you know, something fun to do. But they have quite a bit that you can explore. Before we hit into these literature guides, which, and you're going to see, like I said, you're going to see that green label. That doesn't mean that if you have the free version that you can't access the study guide. You actually can, but it's telling you that these particular novels will have the additional features that you can access in Plus. All right, but before I dive into these study guides, I want to take you to other, because this is the major difference on some of the other type of study guides that you may be used to, like Cliff Notes, that is only on literature. SparkNotes go beyond that, and I want to show you this really quick. So the other subjects that they have study guides for, it includes biography, biology, chemistry, economics, film, history, math, physics, psychology, sociology, U.S. government, and politics. So this is great. Let's do a fun one just really quick so we can look at it, and you can also just go ahead and search by subject, author, or whatever. You can search by the letter, and it will break them down alphabetically for you if you don't have any kind of search features. So here, let's Casablanca for the heck of it. Here you're gonna have the plot summary. So again, here on these parts you have the summary, characters, literary devices, quotes. These are like very important quotes to whether it's a movie or literature. You'll see that again in the literature guides. Further study is going to give you some suggestions, and there, if this is available as something that you can buy a printed copy, then it's going to have that link for you from Barnes & Nobles. My understanding, and I don't know if anything has changed, is that Barnes & Nobles bought out SparkNotes. I did purchase all my physical study guides from Barnes & Noble. You have the plot summary. These are really great if you're trying to introduce a subject, or if you're trying to decide which one you want to do. You can see all these things here. You have the character analysis, and here, like, you won't have this right here. The adding note, that's a plus feature. And what's nice is that right now you can tell by seeing things in green borders, that's a plus feature. Okay, I can go ahead and save it and it's going to add it to my library. I can go ahead and add, like, you know, bookmark this. I can do a review quiz. I can look at the themes. I can look at, you know, the analysis of those specific themes, important quotes explained, not only giving you the quotes, but it also gives you an explanation or analysis from the person that wrote this guide. But again, you could also use this as a point of reference to introduce this topic to your child and see what they come up with, what kind of explanations. I would use this more as a tool for me to be able to facilitate these lessons, and not something that I just hand over to my kiddo. But it's perfectly valid for you to do that as well, with obviously with some talk about responsibility, you know, that we're just not using this as a replacement but as a tool to aid us in our study and comprehension. All right, for really quick, I'll show you biology so you can see a little bit more of that. And you have here divided by the different topics like cell structure, cell respiration, reproduction, molecular biology, plants, microorganism, and such. How does that look like inside? Let's see evolution. You have the areas broken down, and then you have the terms, and this also has something that you can purchase if you like. But here I will show you what you would have access to. So you have some intro, then the next section, and then it breaks, you know, everything down. You will see some diagrams and some pictures and such where it implies, and then some of them will also have links to videos for further learning, and you can see that as well. You have like some vocabulary terms that you can dig into, and you can use that again as another aid to review and to facilitate your lessons and match it up with whatever curricula you're doing, because these are like bite-sized. Think of those books that we used, that everything you need to know or things, but you know, on specific topics versus such a broad thing. So these are very specific. Let's go to the literature, which is their bread and butter. All right, so I'm going to look at, let's see, let's go into 1984, George Orwell. All right, so you have, notice how this is in blue and these are in green. So this told me that there's a plus feature. So if you went into this and you wanted to view it as a free account, you will have access to the study guide. You will not have access to the mastery quizzes or the flashcards or the infographics. I will show you what that looks like in just a bit. Actually, let's start with infographics, because this is a really cool way to like introduce certain segments as you're doing the study, and I think it's just pretty rad. All right, so here is the infographics, which is, you know, the visual summary of 1984. So maybe it aids you, or maybe it aids them as they're creating a project and things like that. So here you have like basically a cheat sheet too, you know, for you too. Again, these are written, the literature guides, these study guides are written for the student. Here, I will show you what SparkTeach is. That is written to the teachers. That is more newish, and it's growing. So I'm excited to see this continue to grow. These are the ones that you purchase, the guides. These have been long used by teachers to craft lessons, but it is also really meant for and written for the student. But you can definitely use it as the teacher to aid you. All right, so here, for example, you have the genre, the setting, the year it was published, the author. You have, again, like a short synopsis here, and then the plot overview with the rising action, climax, falling action, major conflict, the whole thing. Again, because if you, let's say you decide, okay, I want my child to do a plot overview. They've finished this novel, and I want them to illustrate this, and I want to draw it out. Okay, but maybe you didn't read the story, or maybe you don't remember the specific parts, or whatever it may be. Then this could be your cheat sheet to make this assignment for them and do a plot overview and have them include that in their notebooking or whatever they can do. And then this will be like your guide. Point out what I was looking for. Here you have some main characters and a little bit about them. Then you have the themes and the symbols, and you have more information here and some key questions and answers as well. So this is just kind of like a one-pager type of thing, a study guide. You're going to look at the overview, right? And it's going to give you a short synopsis of 1984. Now, if you want, let me see the full book summary, then you can go ahead and click on that, and it's going to go more in depth in the book summary for you. So just a little bit. You can also navigate everything that is under the summaries and stuff this is like the full book summary. Then you have the full book analysis. Let's click on that really quick. And again, this is not meant to replace, but this aids you with really truly dissecting and crafting a very meaningful and intentional lesson in novel study. I think these are fantastic for us at least. So full book analysis, characters, and everything is, you can have opposing views on things like that, which is fine. And that's something that will be a great discussion. Then you have a summary and analysis, chapter by chapter, friends. So if you really are dissecting this, you're stretching this out into like a 2-month study, whatever it may be, you have a chapter by chapter analysis and summary. All right. Then you also have the key facts that you can quickly see. You have in-depth facts. Who's the narrator? It's third person. So we were talking about point of view. Hey, here we go. So it's not just relying on your own knowledge and your own, like, you know, research and stuff like that. This makes it easy to have all this information that you may need in one place, right? Here, it also indicates, well, here's the climax of the story. Here's the protagonist. Here's the antagonist. Here's the setting. Here's the, you know, the time and the place, the point of view, the falling action, the tense, foreshadowing, and they're adding more features too, especially in the deluxe printed study guides, and I'll show you that in a bit. Tone, themes, motives, a video summary. Maybe that was just too much for your for you to dissect. Then you can have a video summary where you can watch, and let's just play it for a couple seconds.
Was to give his readers a clear picture.
An excellent tool. Like, I get super excited and I nerd out, you know, and maybe you need to watch the video summary. Maybe you're trying to plan your year, and that's where you can do that. So here under summary, it'll be your video summary right there. Okay, so let's look and explore now character lists, just so we can see. So we can see a picture of the characters, and whether also you can be able to dissect whether it's a major or minor character. These are part of, you know, different types of analysis that you do at the high school level and beyond. And you have all these things broken down here, and then here you can read like an in-depth analysis, and besides just a cliff note of it. And I still say cliff note because, you know, that's what the age and era that I grew up in. So you have all this information here, and then you can look a little bit here to test your knowledge. Great that they put in these little study breaks, and here you can start a slideshow and all that. You can go under a very specific character if you don't want to look at the broad picture, and maybe you want to see Julia, and it will take you straight to Julia. Here, this little box, remember, you're not going to be able to see that because that is not part of your free membership. If you plus activity, I just scrolled up a little bit so you don't see some personal details, but here you will have my plus study tools, your notes that you've taken in any of the places, your bookmarks, your test prep plus progress and stuff like that, note for your translations audio that you've saved and stuff, and mastery quizzes, flashcards, infographics, and all that stuff. And then you can go ahead, let's say you forgot how to navigate things, you can watch your dashboard tour again. Again, this is a feature of the plus. Okay, so that's my plus dashboard notes. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of that, but yeah, you can always go look at that. All right, so we look at that, and then literary devices. So here we're going to go into themes. And it will break that down very close, really. Like, themes are the fundamental and often universal ideas exploring literary symbols. So, Big Brother, you have other literary devices, the antagonist, you have again, you can go, let's just look at foreshadowing, and I think that's part of like the expansion, and you can see all these different. So here you have questions and answers. So why is the war 1984 never ending? And then certain questions that maybe when they were annotating the novel that they may have, and they can see if they wrote these questions down. Let's say, for example, they would put in the margins like, why is this war never ending? And then you can have an explanation here, or a possible explanation. And then You have a slew of different questions here, and you can navigate all these screens. Again, this is all free. This is part of the free study guide. So everything you're seeing right now is free. If I bump into something that is not, I will let you know. So by theme, now you can go important quotes explained, by mind control, manipulation, by section, by character, by symbol, by setting. So let's say I want to look at quotes like, oh, book 2 part was excellent, I loved it. I want to see what quotes they pulled out. You can click on here. You have the quotes. So you have here by themes to look at just the quotes, and then you can have important quotes explained, and then you will see some of these quotes that was pulled out and explained to you. So, and it will tell you exactly book 1, chapter 1. Now it's not going to give you page numbers, because in this, especially in this day and age, there's so many different, especially for the classic, so many different versions, so many different editions, and they all have different page numbers. So that would be unrealistic to have that. So you won't see that here, but you will tell you like what section it is or what theme was it under and stuff like that. So again, you have that, and this is highlighted in green to tell us that that is part of a plus feature. Now you have quick quizzes. You have here for under full books quiz, and this is a one that has more tools expanded to it. And you can see it has some multiple choice stuff, and then it has some essay help. So let's say you want to assign a paper and you need ideas. You're just short on ideas of what prompts to give. So historical context, for example, why Orwell wrote 1984. You can look and dive into this, and then as you read this, this can help you expand and think about different things that you can possibly explore as part of an essay. Central idea, how does mind control connections that you have with the given novel, right? So you can look at these things, and then for example, you're reading here and then it's going to take you somewhere else. Read more about development of dystopian literature, and you can read that here in another piece of work, which is Brave New Worlds, another classic. This is not just classic, there is some modern lit in here, there is a good balance and stuff, but they also aimed, and I believe it started to make classic accessible and readable and make it less intimidating and approachable. So you'll see that here, but then you can also look, all right, you will see suggested essay topics. So here you, the teacher, are trying, you, the homeschool teacher, are trying to assign a meaningful and intentional, very well connected essay topic to go along with it, not going beyond the book report, going beyond the summary, or tell me what was it about, going beyond that. So here, for example, describe Winston's character as it relates to his attitude towards the party. In what ways might his fatalistic streak contribute to his ultimate downfall? Very meaningful thing, you know, very deep critical type of thinking questions. These are suggestions, or for if the student is using this and they have free reign to write something specific about, you know, the book that they're reading, then they can look at these as possible ideas of an essay topic. So great little help there. Now, further study, we know us homeschoolers like to stretch things out. All right, so we can look at here and see the background, movie adaptations, related links, suggested further reading. So we can look at here, add the background, and you can understand what was going on in the author's life historically, what was happening in this example here, like in 1949 at the dawn of nuclear age, before television had become, bring things together for you in several different aspects, again, making it a true literature study. Then you can see here some movie adaptations. Maybe you want to do a compare and contrast. I really like doing those things, and especially easy when if you're doing classics, to connect it to a movie, because we all know there's at least 3 movies with every classic literature. So you can see that here, and it will give you the date, the director, notable cast as well, and a little synopsis of that adaptation. Then the next part was going to tell you the related links for suggested further reading. And you can see a list of other books that will make a nice connection with that part. So that is an example of the study guide with plus feature. Here you would see, let's go into Hamlet, because why not? And Hamlet also has some plus features. You can read here the original text and the modern text right next to it. Here is a connected with the audio, and let's just fast forward here.
To it. Doesn't he look like the king, Horatio?
Very much so. It's terrifying.
All right, so it reads like actors are reading it. So I really do appreciate that. And you go by act, so you can have your student listen to it versus reading it. And it just like, you know, break it up here. You can bookmark it and all that stuff if you have the plus. And if not, just like write down where you are. I don't think you can bookmark. I can't test that because I have the plus. I don't think you can bookmark it if you have the basic one, but maybe you can. All right, so same things. It has the same element. Here it will tell you the popular pages, but they're also right up here. Right up here, you have the No Fear translation. And again, these are all in green. So all you would have access to is the study guide right here if you have the free version. Right, so not the audio component, which I think the audio is pretty cool. All right, so in here you can take notes, the same breakdown, summary, characters, literary devices, all the jazz, all the things, you know, Shakespeare and Hamlet's background. This is one of the studies that is really cool that they have a whole entire study guide for Shakespeare's background. So that's also something really fun that you can do. Another you have movie adaptations, suggested readings, and all that as well. And we can go back here again. You have all those areas that you can do. So you can see all these with the Shakespeare tab. And you can have looking for a complete collection of study guides. All Shakespeare's will pop up here. And you can show all guides, No Fear audio. You can go by there. You can go search by flashcard. You can do all the things like this. So you have 38 guides here for Shakespeare. And almost all of them have the plus feature. I feel like they're going to add more plus afterwards. And you see right here, that means they have the little audio. And you can see quite a bit. So let's pick a novel. Okay, right here, we don't have any plus features. Now, some novels may have more than others. Like, for example, this one has a study guide and the full text available, so you can read the whole thing, right? So this has that feature. Some novels will only have the study guide. That is the free component. Now, even though it doesn't have any plus features, I still have some plus features for this, such as being able to add notes and keep that you know, track there. So that's one of the things. And you could also just scroll down here. Let's go to study guide, and you can see that this ends right here. So this particular one just has a summary, the characters, literary devices, and quotes. So you don't see like the quiz and stuff like that. Some of them in the free one have a bit more, and some of them don't. But that's okay, because you still get quite a bit, right? So you have all these elements with the summary, and you still have a chapter by chapter summary. You still have the full book analysis. You still have those analysis in there. You still have the character stuff. You still have all this. All right, so let me show you another example. Let me show you I know this is a plus, but let me show you something really quick. All right, so you have the study guide. Here's the mastery quizzes. And you can start here, for example, and you will have like a quiz here, right? So you have multiple quizzes available there, and this is under plus. Then another option you have under plus is that you have flashcards. So here, for example, you can ask yourself, like quiz yourself. So this is The Alchemist, and look at the answer in the back. So you don't have to print any cards. You can shuffle them. You can start over. You can, you know, keep quizzing yourself just to, you know, sometimes just for fun. One also has the AP test prep. So let's see, AP English Literature and Composition. We can click that. And then it has all these different tests that you can take for the AP ones. Plays, short stories, you know, just to help you practice. And that's literature. This is for language arts. So speeches and monologues, that you can see there. Again, this is a plus feature. All right, and then test prep lessons, AP test prep, tone, a writer's attitude. So we can add here, start. And here you would see the lesson to go with that. Helpful resources. So we read to the life and time, how to write literary analysis. This is another one, the 7 steps, and then it has all these things here. You can navigate that yourself when you play around with it. And again, There's over 700. They have over 1,000 guides and over 700 literature guides. So yeah, and there is a good mixture. It's not just classics. So they definitely have a lot of the classics, like the Daisy Jones and the Six. That is recent. Again, so a lot of like modern lit are thrown in there. And a lot of the things, I think they go back and add, like here for example Dracula, and add the plus feature and add more to it. So you can see very easily on their site what you'll be able to see, like this literature guide has, for example, this literature guide has plus features, but it will just be blue and then you can't access that. So you can tell, oh, you know what, I really want the rest of the stuff. Maybe it's time that I pay for it. All right, so here's SparkTeach, and then we'll go and show you the physical copies. So SparkTeach is a teaching guide titles. There is a teacher handbook that I recommend that you download. Here's additional titles that they're working on. Lessons and plans. I will talk more about that as I show you the physical ones, and then additional lesson plans, poetic lessons, film lessons, all that jazz, and then a link to go ahead and buy it directly from Barnes and Nobles. Now this is directly written for the teacher, right? So right here you have teacher handbook, and it breaks everything down for you. All right, so literature guides, no fear Shakespeare, the full text, other subjects, blogs and all that stuff, memes, social channels, and SparkTeach. So it breaks everything down for you. Literature guides, the context, the study questions, key questions and answers, companion text, infographics, all the elements, the no fear, the full text. There is relevant links for activities idea, and relevant links for all kinds of cross things, and then the blog that has a lot of stuff like famous fictional people, Indigenous Peoples Day, you know, Black History Month, Latin Heritage Month. It's just a good blog, like I showed you before, and you could just search for a particular one. This is like classic lit, and it will just tell you right there. Now that I've shown you briefly around all the things that you can access on the site, including the other subjects, I'm going to go ahead and show you the physical products that I have from SparkNotes and SparkTeach.
So as you can see, what I was saying was not a lie. I have quite a bit of printed materials from SparkNotes, SparkTeach, and I don't have everything that they actually print, because there is some other additional resources that they have. I think they're a little bit older type of stuff that is linked on the website, and if it's available under a guide, it will guide you there. And that was something that I pointed out a couple times when I was doing the walkthrough of the online. But the no fear is one of probably something that even well known by you, but you didn't realize that there was a lot more to it from their website, that it was given by SparkNotes, that was written by SparkNotes editors. But the no fear, I have one of their classic novels, not the Shakespeare one, just so you can see that they do offer that. Plus they have the traditional one. I just pulled another one out. And this is not all my stuff, friends, because if I kept looking on my shelf, I would find a lot more. So you're going to see the difference between the deluxe edition and then just the first ones that it came out. So this is from the Scarlet Letter, and you have the side-by-side link in plain English, so you can have your child still tackle the original text, but have like a nice little assistance there side by side, so they can actually know if their interpretation is correct or at least close to it. There also is not just literature. For example, this one here that I have is and I'm sorry about the glare, friends. It's a glossy cover. So this one is the U.S. Constitution. As you can see on the website, they had study guides for different subjects. So this is one of their printed ones. See this, for example, the Declaration of Independence, and see it side by side translated. So just a great study tool. I'm going to go through all these things with you and just pick one of each to walk you through it really quick. Okay, friends? I know we've been here for a bit, but you know, I said it was going to be a comprehensive look of everything that you can gather as a tool. Okay, so first, the most obvious thing, and this it's already been worn down. Literally, this is actually fairly new. But as you can see, I used this to pull a lot of ideas when I built the literature guide for my daughter's first novel study, which is The Hunger Games. It was something that was chosen and swapped out last minute. So gladly, I had already grabbed one of these. So I had this tool and then a few other inspirations, and then just whatever popped up in my brain. So this is when you saw those study guides, that link that was free on their website. website, this is the printed version. So if you're someone or your student, or whether you're using for yourself or your student that just really can't read this material on a screen, consider purchasing this. Now, I bought this with a deep sale in Barnes & Nobles because our Barnes & Nobles were moving location, so they had a crazy sale. But even at regular price, these are not bad. They're like retail $5.95. I have the ones that are on Amazon. I have them linked in my store under the high school years. So I have Hunger Games, Their Eyes Were Watching God, 1984, which is one of the samples that we did. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you this one real quick so you can see that it's the same material, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. If you watch my resources pick for my 9th grader, you will know that I was kicking myself because when I rung up on the register, it rung up for like $1, and I should have just gone back and grabbed more, but I will grab more because these are great tools for building out a literature study. All right, so here is the 1984 George Orwell. I always get tongue-tied with that. So you have the glossary of literary terms we saw. You have samples of A+ student essays. So that's something a little bit unique here. And then step-by-step analysis in plain English, study questions and review questions. So all these things and more will be found here. And just quick flip through here. So you have the themes, the symbols, the summary chapter by chapter. So if you're trying to have these discussions and narrations and stuff and you're not following through, or maybe it's been a long time since you read it, you just remember you liked it or whatever, then you can see the summary and keep up with your kiddo of where they're at and be able to have, like, you know, great Socratic discussions and stuff like that, and knowing what you're talking on. Borders, if you're just looking, like flipping through, you can just easily flip through to the next section. Character analysis, the themes, summary analysis. You can see, like, at an easy glance, study questions and such. So this makes it an easy to read and follow and flag as your child's studying, or you're using this to build your literature, which I showed you that on their online version. And the study questions, how to write a literary analysis, is also included. So review questions and printed version of their study guide that you can access for free. But if you need a printed copy, you can definitely get that. And like I said, these are the ones I currently have. I will be grabbing more as, you know, time go by. I probably will just wait to go to Barnes & Noble. I did link the ones that were available on Amazon on my Amazon store. The No Fear, that is not Shakespeare free text, especially like the classics that are, you know, that they can provide that because it's past copyright. Anyway, so here, for example, like I showed you before, this is a study guide for their other subjects. All right, and then you can see the other titles that they have, and they're still writing. I mean, this company has been around, like I said, since 1999. So it's been quite a while. So you have an introduction. You have the original text. And then here, the modern text. And if you forget, it's right there in the bottom for you, so you can figure that out easily. All right, so it will help you break it down. You have the next section, the U.S. Constitution, the preamble, the article, and then in modern text. All right, so this is great if you're doing, you know, any type of study. You can just infuse it, doesn't have to be specific to this. And then further reading suggestions are also covered. Commentary as well. So anyway, so this is one of their other subjects. One of their novels. Now you may find it as a free text to read on their site, but then again, this is the printed version where you're going to find the original text on the left and the modern translation here. So what you can have your student do is actually assign them to read the original text. You want to give them the challenge. You want to, like, you know, don't, you know, underestimate their abilities. But if they get stuck, you can look right to the right and say, oh, that's what I was just like, oh, wait, what was I reading? And they can see it right on the right side. And then you can see that. Now you can also go ahead and for the Scarlet Letter, or you can go ahead and purchase printed SparkNotes on it, which I'm pretty sure they have the book on that one. Pretty sure, don't quote me, because they have so many, it's hard to keep track which one they have in print and not. So, and these are fairly good price. This one was retail $9.95. These little ones was retail $7.95, and I already told you the other one. So that is the No Fear. It's just a standard edition, not the deluxe. And then here, now we have Shakespeare, let me show you because I have a comparison. This is one of the plays we're doing this year, and I got the deluxe in it, and you can still find them in both. So it has the play overview, the plot summary, the character analysis. So think of the deluxe like your plus feature, you know, similar to your plus feature online. So you have the expanded to include A+ essay tips, key questions, answers, popular quotes, analysis, and more. Again, this is a side-by-side original text, the modern translation, but it's more than that because it's going to dive into introducing you to the play, introducing you to the plot, the historical context, and all that jazz. You have, again, in-depth review of the characters, analysis of major characters, and then the play itself. And again, especially with Shakespeare's play, you know, have your child watch the play. I'm going to say that over and over again. And I love that some of the resources that we pulled from this year actually states that, because I was like, yes, you know. And then here with the No Fear Shakespeare, they actually have like a border around it, at least all the copies I have. And you can see this is the original text at a glance, and this is the translation. So here you have Act 1, Scene 2. You have the original text. Again, this is the modern translation. All right, so you're gonna have all that, and you're gonna be able to like flip through the acts really quick. Then here you have elements of the study guide, which you could also access online. You have elements in style, constructing a thesis, you know, just writing an analysis or essay, and then some helps like write the body of the paragraph, the conclusion, and this one really helps like walks through students through it. A+ essays checklist, you know, and tips for that area. So this is all part of their plus version. Deluxe, sorry about that. And then note about plagiarism, especially important when you're giving such a tool like this, that, you know, this is a tool, not a replacement. So I have the Tempest here, No Fear Shakespeare, but I also have the Oxford one, just so you guys can see a little bit of the difference. This is one of like a really, you know, good a version to get. However, you can see like, you know, side by side, like kind of comparison. Obviously there's quite a bit of versions, but this is one of the more popular ones, the Oxford School Shakespeare. And it does have a breakdown and analysis as well. It has characters in the play. It has like background. I like that I have this because there's a couple elements that are in here that are not there, but then there's things in here that are not there. So I'm glad that I got it. But then it talks about the play, and then the leading characters. And then you just have the play in its original text, but then you have some helpful hints on the side. So, you know, this is almost like how I remember when we were reading it from a textbook, the Shakespeare plays, and then they would have like these helpful little either definitions or tips and stuff of what was going on. Not always, but that's how I read them. So this is very familiar to me. So this is like totally rad. And I've had a few of these on my shelf. I had this for SparkNotes printed materials for a while on my shelf, and it took me a while to realize that there was more to SparkNotes, that they existed, this whole website. And I have mentioned it a few times, but I never really did a comprehensive walkthrough. So I'm glad I got a chance to do that with you this time. So anyway, so this is that, and this, for example, has like some music in it, and there's some cool little additional things. So this is not SparkNotes, but I just wanted to show you that it's still worth, you know, getting a couple of different versions, because you can pull different things and different elements. Now let's go to SparkTeach, and we'll end with that. Romeo and Juliet. I think I got every copy that my store had. The Midsummer Night's Dream, Lord of the Flies, and obviously this is not all for this year. This is, I'm stacking up for the high school years. What to Do About Nothing. Here's the Scarlet Letter. And these are written to the teacher, all right? So where everything else was really meant for the student, but teachers have been using them as a tool for their lessons, this is written to the teacher. So Scarlet Letter, The Odyssey, The Great Gatsby, and Othello. All right, so keeping with the Shakespeare theme, let's just flip through Othello, because why not? And there's quite a bit more, and more coming with these. Okay, so the SparkTeach has the teaching guide, lesson plans, discussion questions, projects, worksheets, and more. Not only for the classroom, they actually do say, you know, for homeschool families as well, you know, and you have several activities. If you need to stay in line to Common Core standards and stuff, it is. Comparative film lessons, all that jazz. So let's look at this. It's like teaching the classics to today's students, and I'm pretty sure that's how their idea started, was just to making classics approachable, and now it has morphed beyond that because they have modern lit offerings as well, and study guides with a lot of modern lit. So you can really look at, like, if you're stuck and don't know what to do, like for a next novel or something, just look at what they have, and it can give you great inspiration. Or you don't even know, like, the title grabs your attention, but you have no idea what the book's about. You can read the plot summary on there. You can, you know, get all the nitty gritties and then see, like, okay, this would be like a great fit. All right, so here you have the welcome area where you have tips for planning and management and all that stuff. You're not gonna need the class management for a homeschool setting, obviously, what's included, all that jazz. Then you have the lesson plans, real life lens lessons, poetic lessons, handouts. So you have vocabulary builders, you have worksheets that you can go ahead and use for, like, if you're doing this family style, and poetic worksheets, contextual support, tips area. Again, most of this will probably not pertain to you because you don't have to manage a classroom. So I'm just gonna briefly look over that. And then here we're gonna go into part 2, which is the lesson plan. Here's the real life lens lesson. So jealousy, and there are these icons, and it will teach you about that. There is URLs for you to connect to additional resources and videos as well. It's this very nice, well-versed, interactive type of guide. You don't have to use everything in there, but it's a tool, right? Then you have the materials, worksheet, driving questions. So, your guiding questions that you start this lesson with. Introduce the lens to activate the student's thinking. Choose 1 or 2 of the following real life links to use an engagement activity. So you want to, you can get them. A lot of times when you saw my real life lessons, I would not fully disclose what we were talking about or what we were doing, because, I want that wonder, that spark, that interest, but wait, what's happening? Hand holding here. So a lot of times, I don't follow scripts, but it is great for people that really do need that script. So you have driving questions and worksheets, and it'll tell you where to locate that. And then you introduce those driving questions, but then there's help within that, right? So you introduce this activity, personal experience, and then it goes into detail with that. Then you introduce the final project so they know what they're gonna be working on. Then you have the midpoint activities. And again, this is just like all the different options that you're gonna have. You have a pair text recommendation, which is awesome. So it gives you some additional, material to work with. Overview again, and here the objectives and instructional sequence. So here's do this, then that. All right, so convey the purpose of the comparison, and then you go further down, define the metaphor and simile to provide examples from the text, and then it actually pulls those out for you, and it lists them out here. So here, copy this passage on the board for your practice with your class. You don't have a board, go ahead and just write it in your notebook and show your student and work through it. Compare concrete and abstract symbolism. There is so much worksheets and handouts. So here is where you can have these to do. Maybe you have a big family and you want to use this over and over. Now these are one of their pricier ones. These are $19.95 without any discount. However, I think for everything you're getting, to me, it's worth it. It may be a little steep for you, but if you look at it as in, you can use what's available for free on the site and build your own. But if you need more scripted stuff, I like having tools from all kinds of places, and I'm gonna dissect and pull it apart and pull little pieces from everywhere. So I like having it, and so to me, it's a worthy investment. But I know everybody has a different budget and stuff. So these are a little bit pricier than everything else that they offer, but there is a lot of meat to it. So here, for example, you can bring in the vocabulary within context and work through that, and it offers quite a bit. This is for vocabulary builder. This is Shakespeare and stage direction. Again, such fleshed out type of study, so many different directions you can take, so much that you can include. I'm actually very excited for us to get to our first one. And if I have to see if they have the teaching guide for the Tempest. If not, I may switch just because I want to use I could probably still pull from this, obviously, like this one for Shakespeare and stage direction and stuff like that. And this could be a very active and interactive type of lesson. It's very easy for me to make these, you know, have a Waldorf flair, and it's already like there. Film terms, you have metaphor, you have a lot of these worksheets to work through, maybe together or whatever not. This is ethnicity and race in Shakespeare in England. So again, different takes, historical things, historical components and such on. Here, for example, summarize with 4 layered notes, driving questions again. You have different charts of, you know, and this can teach them various ways to take really good notes. So that is a great tool. And you have student reflection and a teacher reflection worksheet, which I thought that was a really cool touch. All right, so those are, and obviously they're gonna vary in activities and such depending on the guide and the theme, but that is the teacher guides by SparkNotes, which is SparkTeach. So I hope that this was helpful to you. Wait, I can keep stack. I'm gonna run out of room. I'm gonna run out of room. Yes, I already ran out of room. All right, so let me know any questions you have. I hope this was helpful in that it helps add another tool to your toolbox for your homeschool. I'll see you guys next time. Did I do it? I think I did it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.